It's midwinter and I'm getting tired of flavorless salads again. So I decided to haul in this pot that I grew my herbs in last year to get me through the winter with some fresh herbs. And I didn't have any new soil, so I'm going to use the same soil that I grew in last year, which some people might cringe, but I added some, you can still see the roots of the old plants in here. But I added in a tablespoon each of alfalfa powder and of kelp powder, just to amend it a little bit, and I think that'll be fine. So this soil was made up of sand, worm castings, and buckwheat hulls. It's not worth a trip to the store for a little bit of soil in a pot. So what I'm going to grow is cilantro. So I just have these coriander seeds from Mountain Rose Herbs, and they're so fresh and viable that I can actually grow the cilantro just from these spice seeds. I'm going to grow a little bit of parsley in there. I'm going to try some dill, but generally it gets too tall and lanky for these pots, but I'll put a few in and I can always pluck them out if they're too tall or bushy. So first of all, I just want to saturate the soil with warm water. So I'm going to get the water warm. I'm just going to saturate this soil with warm water. There we go. And I'll let that percolate down. There we go. In 1/4, I'm going to put just a few cilantro seeds. Now when you get the coriander seeds, some of them are cracked. So if it's just a shell, you want to make sure it's a round, fully round seed if you're going to plant it. I'll just put a couple there. Just shake out some dill. And this is way too many seeds for this pot, so what I'm going to do is when they start to sprout, I'll just pluck them out. Just thin them. Then we have 2 different types of basil. I have this dolly basil. I'll just put a couple of those there. And I have this sweet basil. Nice comey. Just very lightly sprinkle them. Okay. And lastly is the parsley. The package doesn't want to open. And just a couple of parsley seeds. Oh, there we go. That's it. Pretty simple. And you can use any potting soil mix you like. I do recommend you get a good organic potting soil. I don't necessarily use a starter mix. I don't think is necessary. So you just want to press all those seeds into the soil. Tend to bury the larger seeds a little deeper. So that's it. All I do now is, I was lucky enough to have a pot lid that fits on there perfectly. So I'll place this with the lid on it in the warmest sunny window that I have until they germinate. You'll see all the little sprouts. And then I'll take the lid off and leave them for another few days. And then once they start to stand up, I'll move them to a cooler window, but also another sunny window, but in a cooler spot. The window I have over here is the warmest window because it's also over a heater. So that's where I'll set them to germinate. And then I'll move them over to this window where there's no heater below, but the sun still comes in once they come up. So you'll probably see these in the background of my videos in the future, but that's all you have to do is just place them in a warm place. I don't even water them with the lid on. It should be enough water in there now for them to completely germinate. And once they get large enough, then when the soil completely dries out, you can water probably once a week.